I am Salvador Dali. This is my story. I was born in 1904 in a small town in Spain. My father was a bank clerk and my mother was a housewife. We were a poor family, but we were happy. I have 3 older brothers. When I was 2, my brother gave me a book of fairy tales, and that sparked my interest in art. I began drawing and painting at a very young age. When I was 10, my brother gave me a drawing pad and some paints. From then on, I would spend hours and hours painting. In school, I would often get into fights with other students. I was a very emotional person, and I would get very upset over things that other people did and seemed to care about. I was also very stubborn, and I would never give up on something once I had set my mind to it. When I was 14, my father died and my mother had to take over the family business. She worked very hard to make sure that we had enough money to eat and a roof over our heads. I wanted to help her, but I was too young to get a job. So instead I started selling my paintings to tourists. When I was 18, I met an artist named Pablo Picasso. He became my mentor and taught me everything he knew about art. We became very close friends and spent many hours together talking about art and life. In 1929, I married a woman named Gala. We had 2 children together, a boy and a girl. Gala was my muse, and I painted her portrait dozens of times. I was a very passionate person, and I loved life to the fullest. I enjoyed eating good food, drinking fine wine, and smoking cigars. I was also a bit of a hypochondriac, and I was always worried about my health. I was obsessed with death and dying, and I would often have nightmares about it. In my spare time, I liked to go sailing, and I was also a big fan of classical music. I collected a lot of antiques, especially things related to death and the occult. I was also a very generous person, and I loved to give gifts to my friends and family. Some of the best moments in my life were when I was traveling with my friends, exploring new places, and meeting new people. I also loved to perform on stage, and I was always very nervous before going on. But once I started performing, I would relax and enjoy myself. Some of the worst moments in my life were when I was sick. I suffered from a lot of physical and mental health problems, and it was very painful for me. I was also very lonely at times, and I wished I had someone to talk to who really understood me. I died in 1989 at the age of 84. I had a long and happy life, and I was able to do what I loved until the end.